My name is Nicki. I'm an English makeup artist and I live with Carlo and our daughter Sky in Positano, Italy. Our house is far from the road but surrounded by fruit trees and olive groves, and we grow our own food. We'll show you what it's really like to live on the Amalfi Coast. Subscribe and welcome to the Positano Diaries. About 7:15 in the morning, all the animals start calling for breakfast. Shut up, cat. I have to feed the upstairs cats as well today because there's nobody here. Ettore! Not my cat's real name is Ettore. No, you haven't seen him for a while. Here he is, and here's the newest one. I think her name is Nerina, I'm not even sure. Shall we feed you? Yeah? Clean up the bits on the floor as well. You're a mucky animal. Good boy. I have just booked myself a ticket back to England at the beginning of September. I'm quite excited. So Sky has to go back to school after being here since March, and I decided I was going to go with her because I just feel better taking her there, going through that whole airport thing with masks and all sorts of things happening. It's probably a little bit overwhelming, so I thought I'd go with her. I will drive her down to school the next day, and it's a 2-hour drive, so it's a bit much for my dad to spend 4 hours in the car driving her there and back. So I will do that, and it also gives me an opportunity to finally get my hair done, which I haven't had done since November. I can go on lots of lovely walks with my dad. I can maybe do a bit of shopping and see my brother and see some friends, which I am very excited about. I have been invited to Villa Boheme today. It's right above Music on the Rocks at the end of the beach, and it has a fantastic view. I've been there a couple of times actually for weddings. I've just pulled up outside Casa Mastro. Right, so we've stopped off at Ivan Mastro's shop and we're gonna take some clothes which we're gonna use in the photos for where we're going. We're gonna have a little photo shoot today. So this is one of the dresses, which is amazing. It's covered in lemons and pictures of Positano. We've been invited for a swim and lunch and to explore and make a video, so let's go have a look. Villa Boheme is a luxury rental villa in the centre of Positano. It has its own private steps that go down to the beach, and it's also easily accessible from the main road. I can't show you any of the rooms obviously right now as they're occupied, but believe me, they are gorgeous. I've been in them for weddings and they're beautiful. They can be rented separately or you can rent more than one at a time. Now, last time I came here was for a wedding, and there was one of those freak rainstorms where it absolutely poured for about 5 minutes while I was on my way here, and then stopped as soon as I got here. So I arrived completely soaked, like a drowned rat. It was very embarrassing. And this is where we are going to be hanging out for the rest of the day. I'm here with Zia Lucy today, by the way. Hello. And Pasquale has just bought something to start us off with. Yum yum. Ma sono il
cuoricini alla crema.
Come tipo donut stilo?
Sì. Hello for me.
Bye.
Allora, bisogna essere educati e gentili quando dice...
This is one of the little private terraces. There's 2 or 3 different little apartments here. We've had some various outfit changes and we are happily taking photos in all sorts of different places, making the most of it here, and then we're going to jump in the pool in a minute because it's very hot. È successo veramente, però cambiato un pochino. Allora io volevo scrivere, ti ricordi quando
La caprese. Prosciutto.
So we had salad caprese, which we've almost demolished. We have poached eggs on, oh, I can't remember what you said. There's some sort of cream cheese and wholemeal bread thing. Melon and prosciutto and smoked salmon with daisies. I have stayed at home for the last couple of days. My knee has been twinging. I don't know why. I haven't done anything to it, but when you're going down 500 steps every day and your knee starts twinging, you know it's time to give it a rest. So I'm trying to be good and stay at home. Yes, Kitty, I'm here. And Carlo is fiddling with our carrello. We've got a gas delivery today. So 6 gas canisters have to be brought down from the road, and his carrello, which is the machine he uses to transport heavy goods down, is playing up. It's not working properly, so there's been a lot of swearing this morning. So the green beans are still going strong. The plants are starting to dry out now, so they'll be probably gone soonish. Here we have a very good production of red peppers. They will slowly start turning red now, but there's loads and loads and loads of them. 2 rows. These are the little sweet green peppers. You can make up a pesto with these and walnuts. And then this row here is even more tomatoes, and look at how abundant they are. I mean, these are just absolutely incredible. I'm surprised that the vines, well, they are bending. I mean, they're not holding up that well, but the tomatoes are so heavy here that the vines are starting to bend and collapse. Look at this. I mean, look at the size of that. A little hole in it, but and it's heavy. It's really heavy. And there's so many of them. Let's go and see what Carlo is up to. And he's got it working. He's now loading up the old gas canisters, the empty ones that need to go back up and be exchanged for full ones. You guys who get piped gas, you don't know how lucky you are. Oh God, I can hardly lift it when it's empty. He's been gone for probably about an hour now, but I think I can hear him slowly coming back. In the meantime, Elizabeth has just called me and invited me out on a boat this afternoon. Nicola has to learn to drive one of the bigger boats. He got his license a couple of years ago now, and he's always driven the Spritz, which is one of the smaller boats that they've got. He's got to learn to drive the bigger ones too, so we're all going to go along for the ride. By the way, for anybody who's been following along since the beginning of the quarantine diaries, those hollyhocks that I planted, this is the result. We've never had any flowers off them. and they have just sort of grown very, very big leaves. None of the lupins grew. They seemed to just vanish into thin air. I planted them all and then we just never saw them again. But yes, so no hollyhocks and no lupins. So, but the wildflowers were absolutely amazing. So we'll see what else next year we can plant. Anybody knows the names of these? These are beautiful. Right, Sky and Carlo are walking down. I am walking up because I think it's less strain on my knee to go up rather than down. So I'll get the scooter and I'll drive down and meet them. Doesn't really make any difference because obviously later on I'm going to have to still walk down nearly 500 steps anyway, but at least I'm avoiding some now. As I was walking down, my flip-flop snapped. Why do they never snap when you're at home? Only when you're out. Carlo is trying to fix it with a piece of wire just so I can get back home afterwards. Right, time to assess this new captain. Well, that's going to distract him. And he has just successfully driven through that little gap there. Now here in the rock, if you look very carefully, you can see an Egyptian pharaoh. There he is. You see him? Once you see him, you can't not see him. He's even got an eye the other side. And that's our little boat trip. Sky is staying on board with Nicola where he goes and cleans the boat, and then he'll park and then they'll come back. And I'm going to go find Carlo, who didn't come with us in the end. Today could be a good day to go snorkeling. The little black kitty from upstairs has managed to get itself stuck in somebody else's garden. Can't figure out how it got there. So Carlo is on a mission to save the kitty. Meow! This way? No, not that way. Sto andando più di là. Well, it's very hard to show because of all the greenery and trees. The little kitty is now at the very back in the garden up here above ours. It's just going to have to figure it out itself how to get back down. Just heard a thud. Come on, little one. There you are. Come on, have some food. There we go, all happy. We were supposed to be having friends around for lunch today, but they've cancelled last minute, so we've decided we're going to go kayaking and snorkeling, and we're going to take the GoPro, and hopefully this time it will work. Last time I took it to Capri, it didn't. So I've reset it, and let's see what happens. Carlo says that Holly is extremely offended that we are leaving her again, but it's very hot outside and there's obviously no shade for her on a kayak, and she can't come snorkeling either. So she's really got no choice. She's just got to learn to stay at home. Sky's at home anyway. So we're slowly walking up the steps and we're having a discussion, which we do quite often, about what is going to happen to us when we get too old to handle living in a place with 465 steps to the house. So
Ci troveranno mummificati a casa morti dopo 20-30 anni.
Yeah, we've got to weigh up the pros and cons of whether it is worth just battening down the hatches and living out our last years down there without any accessibility to hospitals or shops or anything, which is a bit dodgy, or moving somewhere flatter and easier to get to. So we have varying different ideas. I would love to move to southwest England, Cornwall or Devon.
No. Mi piace là, ma è
He only ever goes in the winter. He only ever goes in January. He's never seen the sun in Cornwall before. But he's convinced it's like it is in January all year round.
Sarebbe bello, un mese all'anno. agosto, non lo so, luglio, penso. Poi basta.
Non è così male.
Sì, sì.
So we're thinking Spain, France, Portugal, but we've never been
Molto meglio.
to
Portogallo.
explore places. We've never been to Portugal. I've only been to Minorca, the island. I've never been on mainland Spain before. I don't really know France very well. We've driven through it a few times, but we've never really stopped many places. So we don't know.
Ma sta facendo un monologo, chiedi una domanda anche a lui.
Allora, sta dicendo di Nord Italia?
Nord Italia è come andare in Germania o in Inghilterra, che c'è di bello là? Poi dipende quanto a nord. Lago di Garda andrebbe bene, oppure la zona dei colli di Firenze andrebbe anche bene.
Allora dobbiamo andare a esplorare di più.
Siamo già stati un sacco di volte a Firenze. Il Lago di Garda ci siamo solo passati, quindi non sappiamo com'è.
No?
Veramente. Sappiamo che come qua è molto costoso.
Questo è il problema.
Però almeno non ci sono tutte queste scale da fare.
Sì.
Che da vecchio potrebbe andare bene senza scale.
So we're gonna have to at some point start exploring a bit more and see if we find our dream town without mountains somewhere in Europe. Nuova Zelanda?
Sì. Mi piace.
Ma
È lontano da ogni
that's the problem.
tutto, proprio poi alla fine del buco del culo.
We would
voglio.
both go to New Zealand at the drop of a hat, apart from the fact that our families are here and it's so far away, which is a shame.
Allora, il fatto è che io non voglio andare via di qua, mi piace qua. Ma a 70-80 anni, quando non ce la fai a fare questa scala, già adesso.
Yeah. Yeah, it's yes, we love it here, and yes, we know how lucky we are to live here, but it is not a good place to grow old. It is it's really hard work doing these steps, and when you're 19 you can run up.
Io andavo molto più veloce di così.
Yeah, when you're young you can run up, but when you're older, I mean, Carlo's dad can't get up to our house anymore, and it's been a few years that he hasn't been able to come up now, and he loved it up there. So we're not unappreciating where we live, we're just being sensible about the future, knowing that it's not going to be perfect forever.
Posso provare a dire che quando ero un po' più giovane, questa scala fino a casa, con 3 sacchi di cemento da 50 kg ognuno, 150 kg di cemento, portare giù per fare la casa, ma era 30 anni fa e io avevo 24. Non 54.
There is a constant battle to keep this area of the beach free from sunbathers. This is the boat area and you're not supposed to sit and sunbathe on it, but people keep going there. So the Coast Guard is now telling them all to leave. Right, I'm just waiting for Carlo to come and join me. There was something that I was going to tell you, and of course now I've turned the camera on, I've completely forgotten. I was going to answer 2 questions that I got on Instagram today. One of them made me laugh and the other one is just a very frequently asked question. The funny one was, is my surname really Positano? No, it's not. That's where I live. It's not my surname. My surname is Story, if you want to know. But a lot of people here chose Positano as their Instagram handle, so we've got Nicki Positano, Nicola Positano, Lisa Positano and various people like that on Instagram. The other question is, what do I consider the best time of year to visit Positano? And that answer has now changed, because last year when it was so busy I was saying it really doesn't make any difference because you're going to find the same amount of crowds any time of year that you come here. But as of this year, as it's quieter, I would go back to saying May, June and September and early October are always beautiful. August and July are very hot and humid, so unless you really like hot, humid weather, avoid it. Right, Carlo is now coming out towards me. We're going to head over to Laurito and do a little bit of snorkeling. It's a little bit choppy, but Carlo insists that he wants to go in the cave. I think we'll do it one at a time. And I know I've shown this before, but I find it fascinating. There is an incredibly ancient remains of a staircase carved into the rock there that don't go anywhere. Who knows what it used to be? And I know you want to come in too, so I've just brought you in. I always get really scared when I'm in here by myself. Now I've got to turn around. Okay, let me just turn around and I'll show you the view going out. Right, I'm going out. Now that I'm a little bit closer, you can see that there's not only steps going up that side, but there's steps going up here too. Right, we're going to go and park at Laurita. I can see a little space at the very end, left-hand side of the beach for us.
Andiamo? Andiamo a esplorare adesso. Misteriose cose nascoste nel mare. Vai adesso. Bellissimo. È bello lì sotto per comunque.
È bello, fa un po' di paura.
Cosa c'è che ti spaventa?
Le cose sconosciute. This is the first time I am eating at Adolfo's in about a year and a half, I should think, and I found our friend Sonia who's come to join us. This is a carpaccio di tonno. It is the best tuna fish in the world, and Carlo and Sonia have both gone for the pepate di cozze, zuppa di cozze. Thank you.
Quella foto che ha fatto col pesciolino.
This area is famous for little flying fish, and of course now that I've got my camera out we won't see any, but as soon as I put my camera away they come jumping out of the sea.